Hello there. In London again, in Greenwich, just to the east of the main city, looking at the old Royal Naval College, designed by Christopher Wren, end of the 16s into the early 17s, I think it was completed. Lovely building full of history and qualities. Christopher Wren's a very special architect, built a lot of the big and famous oldie stuff of London, like St Paul's Cathedral, for example. And we're there on a decent day to do a quick sketch, and we're going to do it in a very particular style that most people find a bit terrifying. And that is, we're going to just go straight in with colour, in fact straight in with ink, and we're not going to hold back. Now, this is the kind of style of sketching which you just have to give in. You know, you have to accept that it's going to be 80% wrong, not 80% right, as you would normally try for. There's no setup lines, there's no pencil, there's no anything. You'll see at the beginning I just run my fingers across the page in order to kind of, in my mind, sort of establish where the drawing will sit upon the page, and then we are off. And there is no kind of callbacks, there's no undo. You can't sort of press Command Z as you would on the computer in front of me now. It's literally you just got to go for it, and you've got to enjoy going for it, and you've got to know that it's going to be largely wrongish, but in a fun way, because it's a sketch. What makes it, I think, strange is the scale of it. If this was in a little tiny sort of moleskin style sketchbook, A5 style, then it will be completely normal and many people would do the same thing. As soon as it gets bigger, people get kind of nervous that sort of sense of it has to be more right, and that's just in their heads. It needn't be that way. Now, it's liberating to use a larger piece of paper. This is A3. I'm using the Rembrandt Desert Tone paper, which is a bit like the packing paper style, the craft paper style I've used before, but it's thicker and it doesn't have the kind of line in it. So it is very sort of deserty. It is very sandy coloured. I did take it with this drawing in mind, but the truth is, I don't think it really matters what colour paper you have. Sometimes you go with a completely random set of colours in your portfolio, and that's more fun. It's enjoyable to draw with surprises, built in, and it's almost as if, imagine you kind of drew with your eyes closed. You couldn't do that, could you? But imagine somebody handed the colours to you. Somebody was sitting beside you and handed you one pen after another, or one brush after another, and you never had a chance to actually choose one yourself. Wouldn't that be fun? Wouldn't that be kind of like a liberation, where you'd think, oh, okay, what will I do with this then? And I think that's part of this freedom that comes after you've done, a lot of sketching in your life, and you've come out the other side of it, and you're doing it just for kicks. You're doing it for your own enjoyment, and you're doing it because there's something to be said in the building with a line. I mean, I'm not going to be able to write about this building. I will instead use a pen and a line, and instead of creating letters, I'll create marks, and those marks will be my way of talking about the building, but I'll do it in the form of sketching or painting or whatever other mark I feel like making that day. Have it from, quite honestly, that sense of letting go a bit, allowing yourself to kind of give in to the joy rather than see the goal. Now, this is a speed sketch, so obviously I've now sped this up even more, but it's speed in the sense that I'm sitting on the ground, cold ground, and I don't want to be there for more than half an hour perhaps. So the goal is to take a brush or a pen or whatever it is in your hand and use it everywhere you possibly can, and basically finish its use and put it down and pick up the next one. So you're kind of going through phases of the sketch in order to get yourself through the drawing as quickly as possible. It's quite an interesting technique because it stops you kind of what I call faffing around. Do you have that word, faffing, where you're kind of over worrying about this bit and then that bit and kind of second guessing yourself the whole time? If you kind of say, I'm now going to have this pen in my hand and I'm going to use it everywhere it needs to go, and then I'm going to put it down, and if I have to pick it up again, that's okay. I'm not going to lose points in life, but I'm going to know that I could have, if I'd thought further ahead, have seen where I needed to use it. So it's kind of just a little tiny fun little personal challenge you set yourself if it's a speed sketch like this. If it's about not some kind of idealized, perfect, let's put it on a postcard kind of drawing or sketch. It's about a sort of impression. It's about a moment, it's about a memory, and it's about not getting too cold an arse. Can I say that on YouTube? Is that allowed? So there's a sort of a speed through need. Oh my goodness. So we're coming to the end, and a lot of fun was had in a very quick time, and it's a very quick sketch which could easily fit in a lot of people's sketchbooks, I think. And I think it's really worth trying. Go a little bit bigger than you think you should. Try and be a little bit limited in the amount of colors and the amount of ways you apply it, and enjoy the act of actively just going for it without any preparation, without any setup, without any guidelines. Just enjoy making the marks and know that, of course, they're going to be wrong a little bit. Maybe if they're horribly wrong, do it again. But either way, do it smiling.